Hi, my name is Olga. This channel is specifically for people who are responsible for business expansion to the Russian-speaking region of the world. And the video of today is for the small and medium enterprises, for the companies who already export to Russia but still want to do it better.
For us, it was already more than 20 years ago, but it was the feeling that we were not flexible enough and reactive enough by exporting from Belgium, and we are really missing the speed on the market. It was difficult to exactly say what was the date or at which moment. This was just the feeling of being not flexible and not agile enough and needing.
We often see that companies are limited in their knowledge and they need a good advice how to develop business in Russia further. So that's why I invited Johan Vanderplaetse. This is a Belgian man living in Russia already for many years, and he saw thousands different cases and he works with different European producers exporting to Russia. So, Johan, and my first question is about business localization. You advise even to the small and medium enterprises to localize business processes in Russia. So, is it due to big distances or business mentality or something else?
I think it's important to have your own feet on the ground, to have your own people, your own company people in Russia itself, to have your own office. And it doesn't have to be a big office, but that you have your own people that are your employees, and then indeed through your local office you can through distributors reach out to the wider market. If you think that you can simply do it by staying in Antwerp or in Ghent or in Bruges or in Brussels, and you're contacting a distributor in Russia without having your own intelligence, without having your own people on the ground itself, it will not work.
Okay, Johan, many companies, or the most companies, start their business expansion to other countries by working with local dealers and distributors. So, but what are the first signs by doing business in Russia when companies should understand that now is the moment to set up their own sales team in Russia?
It's a good question, Olga. Thanks for the question. Well, first of all, I don't think that there is a one-size-fits-all answer to the question. A lot is depending on what type of company you're working for, what type of business are you in. There is different, and there I have seen different kind of models. So it's a step-by-step approach. You follow the volumes that you can generate, and I think in most of the cases, I give you that one example, I can give you other examples of Belgian companies. Almost every company understands that yes, indeed, they can take market share and they move forward.
Johan, you work together with Lorn company in Russia. In my opinion, it's a beautiful example of the right business expansion. Yeah, could you tell a little bit more about their case?
Indeed, I am also chairing the board of Lorn Russia. Lorn is a Belgian industrial bakery, very successful industrial bakery. It's a good, healthy, mid-size company. The company, I think, took the very wise decision to start with a more limited operation in Russia itself, a sales office. Working as well to certain distributors, making sure that they brought in their products. But they were selling already, I think that was remarkable, they were selling already the products on the market at a price level as if they would already have produced locally, although they were importing the bread products from abroad. But by doing that, they really had a sense about is there a demand for our products? Do the consumer, do they like it? Are we price competitive to indeed grow the business? And as it proven out, the volumes that they were selling on the market was growing every month. To the extent that now today the management is confident that they have to move to the next phase, which is indeed now considering the production of a real size industrial activity in the country itself.
Johan, geopolitical and economical situation in Russia is not so stable. We always see those fluctuations, which makes, of course, business of European companies in Russia very uncertain. But do we still speak about localization of business in such turbulent country?
Well, first of all, it is, yeah. I'm working in this part of the world already a long time, since '92, when I was a student and I came here. I mean, first of all, the country has changed tremendously. I went through the crisis of '98, the big default, the financial problems in 2008, the political issues in 2014, the drop of the oil price. So you do have big fluctuations. But what is also true that the shocks that we had in the past were much steeper and bigger than the ones that we're having today. The country is always bouncing back, and it's always bouncing back much quicker than people predict it will. But the customer, your consumer, they will never forget that you stuck with them when the times were temporarily more difficult, and it's always paying off eventually again in your reputation, in your market share, in the way that you're doing business here. So the message, Olga, I would like to give is, first of all, again, the economical situation is much better than people claim it is, and many countries would envy the macroeconomical situation of Russia as it is. And secondly, as well, for the people who are dedicated to the market, it has always been a rewarding business to be in.
Okay, but let's go to the next stage. So let's say that company is already present in Russia, they have good demand for their product, good product knowledge, and they decide to localize their production situation. Yeah, they set up their production lines in Russia. Why is it needed?
I'm also chairing the Belgian-Russian Business Club. I'm Chamber of Commerce in Russia as well. I'm chairman of the Association of European Business. I can give you many examples of also the more medium type of companies which realize that indeed if they want to be long-term successful in the market, also they have to step up their local production here for the same kind of basic reasons, maybe less the geopolitical one in that cases. The cost effectiveness, to be close to the market, avoiding logistics and supply chain costs, and as well, again, very important hedging against the currency fluctuations. But if you look at it from whatever kind of perspective, in many cases, indeed, Olga, it does make all sense to step up your presence in the country itself.
Okay, but those are very ambitious steps. But in your experience, what is percentage between success and failures that you met in Russia?
Oh, I saw an overwhelming portion of successes, and I saw very few failures at the end of the day. Typically, doing business in Russia might be, to a certain extent, complex, but you can argue that doing business in China or in India or in many other countries is equally complex. But the thing which is clear is that it is, if you do it right, it is a very profitable business. From the Russian side, the Russian consumer is valuing quality, and they're willing to pay a premium pricing for that. The fact that there are not so many entrants into the market, because many of them are scared away with all the bad things that the Western press is always wrongfully writing about this part of the world. There is maybe a bit less competition, which is also allowing, of course, to make sure that the price level can be very attractive for businesses. So it is a remarkable thing. Companies which once took the decision to enter into the market, they stay. They flourish, they expand. We don't see enough new entrants into this market, but I think it's really to a large extent because of the wrong image and representation that Russia has, if you just have to believe what you read in the Western press about what is taking place in this country.
Okay, Johan. Thank you very much for sharing your experience and knowledge.
Buy more local.
Okay. Now we know that it's really worthwhile to localize business processes in Russia, and the chance for success of business there is really very high. Subscribe for this channel. Here is more information about different facets of export business to Russia.